Yo, what's going on, everybody? No topic for today's live stream. Just trying to figure out how many of these streams I am gonna do from now on. I had someone on Twitter ask me if I wanted to do a live stream today. I wasn't going to plan on like doing one, but now that I'm here, I guess I'll answer some questions. I was just kind of working on a couple of different, I guess what you would call it is some courses. And I got a lot done. Basically building out a backend course that can hopefully help you guys maybe get off of like Firebase if you wanted to do that. Because, well, Firebase is great, but it definitely has its limitations. So my idea, at least for now, is to build out a backend thing so that you guys can appreciate how to build out a backend server. But after going through all of the content, building it out on my own, getting enough practice as to like how to construct a good backend, I realized there's so much to do that I don't know if you guys can appreciate or not appreciate, but like there's just so much to do that I feel like if I leave out any particular part, it won't feel like a complete backend. So I think what I'll do to get myself off the hook is I'm not going to promise all that much. It's just going to be like pretty bare bones. I think for the most part, hopefully for the most part, you guys will be able to take the bare bones project and then build on top of it. I don't plan on doing too much. It'd be crazy. I wouldn't be able to finish the course. So, I don't know. Yeah. So we got some people here. Omir Ahmed. Nice. Gotta turn down this music. All right. WWDC 2019. Yeah. That's gonna be exciting. Kind of thirsty here. So I prepared another glass. This is just a what do you call this? A can. Acai beer. Had this last time. Hopefully you guys are also enjoying your Saturdays. What's today? Doing YouTube all the time. Sometimes I totally lose track of what day it is. And this is a funny story. This one time, my friend and I had we planned a tennis day on Saturday. And when I woke up, I saw his message, and I was like, "Oh, it's Saturday already." But yeah, that's my life. How are you guys doing? Let me get this beer going. I'm gonna use my glass here. Have some leftover coffee, but you guys don't need to know about that, right? It smells like coffee. All right, so last time I did this wrong. You're supposed to tilt it, but this isn't really helping, is it? How does tilting help the foam? Can someone tell me how tilting helps the foam? Because it's still foamy. Jesus, you guys lied. Okay, here we go. Okay, maybe I didn't tilt enough. My tilting levels are not as highly skilled as the bartenders at the local clubs. So cheers to a healthy Saturday. What's going on? Let me check my mail. Okay. So I got this interesting comment on one of the YouTube videos the other day, and I was reading it. There's like a long thread between me and this user, and the user's asking me about how I feel in terms of interface builder in 2017 when I made that video versus right now 2019. And I think I said that overall I feel pretty much exactly the same way. Overall, I don't have a strong preference for anything, but I guess the only thing that I would change about that video is that for the most part, UI stack view is just really helpful. And now I don't really type too much layout code because UI stack is super short. And then the other thing that I was thinking about really boils down to me doing more than just iOS development. You know, every now and then I'll touch on my website, build other client website projects and Android stuff too. So the universal theme amongst all the platforms is like, you have to touch the code. Relying on the visual editor is weird and awkward for me at least. And yeah, really depends on your workflow. I hope that makes sense. Circus says, how come you always drink my favorite beers? Is this your favorite one? This is really good. Beer is only good when you're having it cold. I guess kind of goes without being said. Some trolls here. Report. Put user in timeout. Yeah, we'll put them in timeout. What are the future plan courses? I have this problem where I build out a lot of different projects and they just never get, like, they never see the light of day. Light of day, is that the phrase? Day of light. Light of day. So I just have a bunch of source code sitting on my physical like computer. That's a huge problem. What's up, Max? Watch all videos from the beginning. Should I show you guys my watch time graph over the last year? It's an interesting stat. Maybe I'll pull it up. Let's see if I can get analytics, and let's kind of share what analytics looks like. If you guys are curious about how much money this channel makes, maybe I'll show you that too. It doesn't make a lot of money. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. All right, so that's that. Okay, so YouTube, the way YouTube works is in order to make money, you have to generate views for your videos, right? And in order for the views to count, you have to have this little rating called a CPM. So for, I guess, the field of computer science, programming, and development videos, you are gonna get, you know, a CPM of, I don't know, it says it's $10 or something. There's the earned revenue. Okay, so CPM is about $10. And I'm guessing that for more entertainment style channels, then the CPM is probably like half. So this is a pretty decent CPM, and you just have to, you know, make this amount of money. You can see in the month of May, I don't think I put out that many videos for May, or the latter half of May I put out less videos. So that's the amount of money that I made. And April, March, February, January, you can see it varies. In April, I pushed out a lot of new videos. That's why there was an increase there. It's actually very easy to calculate how much money a video makes. For programming videos, it's like $1.50 to $2 per 1,000 views. So it's a very easy number to calculate. You can just extrapolate that. You know, I watch a lot of camera review videos, and they probably make, I don't know, $1.50 per 1,000. And if you can, you know, just generate views, you can get a lot of money. But this is like nothing. Like $800, I consider that to be. I don't know. I don't really think of this dollar amount. To be honest, I don't even look at this dollar amount anymore. In the very beginning, the early days, I used to look at this number like every, I don't know, 10 times a day. And then now I go like weeks without looking at this number anymore. How did this stream turn into revenue stream? I don't know. Yeah, that's how YouTube works. I don't know. Are you guys interested in this stuff? Yeah, there's that video where I posted, the one talking about salary. That one has like 1 million, like close to 1 million views. I think more now. That one's generated what, like $2,000, $3,000. So it's decent. It's a decent way to generate side revenue. Like if you want to like supplement your income somehow, building up a YouTube following is a good way in 2019. I mean, there are obviously better ways, but if you enjoy making videos and putting it online, then doing this is a good way. Like it's fun. Like, obviously, it has to be fun for you in order to gain a following. If you don't find it fun, you know, there's obviously a million different things that you can do. You know, maybe sell your kidney for $1,000 on the black market. That's also a good way to generate money. Okay. What is this? This chat thing's so weird. Yeah. Max code, you say that, and that's how much you're generating off the courses, about $800 to $1,000 a month. Max, so you know, I was thinking about giving you some advice since you're young and I'm old. I feel like I can give young people some advice. Let me know if you want to hear like my advice in terms of your career path. And you know, you can message me privately, or maybe I can just tell you right here. It's pretty general advice. It's nothing like private. Who's live streaming? Nah, he's live streaming. I feel bad for channels who only try to make money off ad revenue. So ad revenue is the worst way to make any money at all. I guess I have a couple of thoughts here. So Max, like I know you like making videos, and I know you like being on social media. Like I can see the genuineness of how you like producing content. And you know, you have a good camera presence, and the way you make your videos, you have your own style, and it's very good. But here's the but. I don't think, like, if you're a good programmer, like making YouTube videos or making videos and producing online courses, I'm not sure if that's the best way to maximize your potential and talent. Because like if you work at a big company, you can generate 6-figure income pretty much very easily. So making courses online, is that really the best thing to do? Maybe in the long run, if you get a big enough following, then yeah, it'll pay out. Yeah, it really depends on what your goals are. If the goal is to maximize money and to maximize your potential, like I always tell people to join a big company to get the experience of like working in a real development team. That way you can see the process of where code begins and how it needs to iterate between teams, and you know, make it all the way through to the release phase. I think that's very helpful, and it's very helpful throughout your entire career. So I always recommend people get some experience before they like decide to go on the alternate path. doing the alternate path isn't a bad thing. You can do it, and yeah, I guess that's all I kind of want to say about that. Yeah. So in the Bay Area, you'll make, I don't know, 120, 140, 150K for a iOS developer job. If you're working outside of the Bay Area, you'll probably make, yeah, like $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 a month. You know, like the revenue that I generate on the website and everything, it actually pays, I would say pays more than a general iOS developer salary. So it worked out for me, and it's like continuing to be a rather good investment. So yeah, I'm hoping for your success. I'm really hoping for more people to do this. Yeah, just food for thought. Want to make sure you're on the right path. I know when I was young, I wanted to be a really good software developer. So the path for that was obviously to learn from other good developers. Yeah. How about building apps for other people instead of making videos? How about building out apps? Well, I do talk a lot with people that want to contract, provide work to me as a contractor. And I talk to a lot of people that want me to work for them. And most of the time, the contract negotiations don't work out. And I'd rather do videos. Or the thing I really want to do, or the thing I really like doing, is I need to be continually learning stuff. When I'm working at a company, I always feel like there's a pretty quick plateau. Like you ramp up, and then after a while, you don't learn anything more. And whenever I hit that plateau, I feel like just doing something else. When I'm producing these videos, I'm pretty much full freedom. I can do whatever I want, which is nice. It's definitely a luxury. Oh my god, this music's killing me. Yeah. Okay. We're back to big head mode. Because we can all use a little big head in our lives, right? It's nice to see ourselves in full HD, 1080p, with a hat on. Am I getting fatter? Can't tell anymore. Why is it so dark? Jesus Christ. My camera looks like shit. I spend so much money on camera gear and lighting, and the goddamn camera quality is not good. Anyhow, let's see, what kind of questions can I answer today? Greetings from South Africa. Greetings, man. Louis Neo Fetla. What are my favorite books on programming? I don't read. Are you guys surprised that I don't read at all? I don't read physical books. That seems weird. That seems strange. Macaroni, you need tacos. Man, I need tacos too. I just cooked myself like some quick dinner with shrimp and chicken. It was amazing. It was the highlight of my day. Shrimp is on sale at Lucky's for, I think, $15 for 2 pounds of the big kind of shrimp. Recommend you go grab yourself a bag. Yeah. So what was I talking about earlier? Oh yeah, ad revenue. Okay, I didn't go over watch time. Let's go over watch time now. So watch time is here. Let's get you out of the way. Watch time, 1.2 million minutes. So overall, you know, there's real-time activity, 15,000 views. You got some Flutter reviews. I don't know how much I like the Flutter video. You get a bunch of people asking me these like Flutter questions. The thing about me is that I'm really easily annoyed with questions. Before I made the YouTube channel, I always wanted to like talk with other people online and, you know, answer questions from people. And then I realized the more I get these random ass questions about these platforms, I really hate it. So I guess be careful for what you wish for, because when it does come true, you have to handle it. Handle the shit that comes your way that you don't want to deal with. What is this? Oh my god. Kotlin, Firebase, Forms. Diego, hey, what's up? If you're here for Flutter questions, you can just GTFO. Oh yeah, a while back I was talking about, you know, there was a chance of me working for Google. Or I guess I never really talked about what the company name was. But there was a chance. There's still a chance of me moving on to Google's campus. Or not. Do they have a campus? Yeah, they have a campus here. And work for their team. I don't know. I don't think that's happening. Do you guys want me to work for Google? If you guys say yes, I'll get on that email right now, and we can write that email together and talk about how I can benefit the company of Google with my skills and expertise. You know, it's a very wide range of skills that I can provide. What is the famous phrase? I have a specific set of skills. Damn, I can't remember anymore. I don't have a lot of money, but I have a very specific set of skills, and if I find you, then I'm going to kill you. Man, now I'm curious what the phrase of that Liam Neeson movie was. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? You guys know. I don't know if I'm going to answer any questions today. Yes, work for Google. I don't know. I don't really want to work for Google, actually. I'm old. Why would I work for Google? If you're young, you should. If you're old, and the Bay Area sucks. You guys don't know, San Francisco is a horrible place. Work for Apple. I don't really understand the what is it? The obsession with working for Google or Apple. Never had that really. Like, I can give two shits about working for Google or Apple, honestly. Don't work for Google. You didn't lie, Brian. I became an iOS developer because I am an Apple fan. Anyone with me? I'm not a fan of anything much either. You know, I have my Android phones, I have my iPhones, I have my Windows PC, my Hackintosh computers, my Samsung TVs. I don't have any brand loyalty. And I feel like are app subscriptions the best form of monetizing apps nowadays? I don't know. That would be nice if I can produce an app, put it on the App Store, and then, you know, suddenly have it generate a few $100. You know, let's be a little modest here. Maybe $1,000 a month just on one single app, and that would be what, $12,000 a year. That'd be nice. Put out something like that. Yeah, Diego, you're right. When you're working for a large size company, you get to work on the smallest fucking thing in the entire company. Talk about a small cog in a big ass machine company. You are not even a cog. You're like a little bolt that's on the cog. And you'll be lucky to even see your code released into the production environments of these large companies. That rarely happens. And that's kind of why I recommend working for startup companies where your impact is more widespread. Can impact be widespread? Is that the correct grammar? Yeah, it's a problem working for a company. Indeed, it is. Do we contract working occasionally? Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Don't really have to, but it's fun. It's fun working on projects that, you know, projects that you don't have to teach how to build it, because you can get really crazy with the code. You pretty much have to. You have to use a lot of very well abstracted out components. Otherwise, you'll just be repeating yourself with code everywhere. So it's helpful. It's helpful to get that experience. Let's see. Hassan Okan Kojit. Why is there this tonal symbol on the G? How do you pronounce that? I see these symbols in Chinese, but I don't know how to read it in whatever language this is. Is it Russian? No, it's not Russian. Why does Russian have like the squarish, the blockiest alphabets? Someone told me that. Like, let me know the reason behind the square blocks of the Russian language. It looks scary. The language freaks me out when I see it. Like just how boxy it is. Scary language. Yeah. Mirja lol. That N? Is that an N? What is that character? That first character? A U? An upside down U? What does that even say? Is it an A? Is it an H that's missing the top two pillars? The top two lines? Is that just an A? Or no? First one's a P. What's the second letter then? Is it also a P? Second one's an R. What are you talking about? The second one's a P. Wait, the first one's a P and the second one's an R? Somebody's got it wrong. Either English got it wrong or the Russians got it wrong. I'm gonna have to side with the Chinese. The Chinese got it right. Privet? That says privet? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. How the hell does that say privet? I think privet's a pretty popular name, right? Russian languages use the Cyrillic script as opposed to the Latin script used in a lot of languages like English. Huh. Didn't know that. For those of you guys that have a second language as English, did you guys find it hard to learn the language? Because, you know, languages inherently are very hard to learn if you don't live in that country that speaks it. I guess now with the internet and especially with YouTube, you can learn languages a lot better than, you know, in years past. Privyet. Privyet. Is that the Russian accent? I love the Russian accent, by the way. The Russian accent is probably one of my favorite accents. It just sounds so dark. It sounds so dark and masculine. It feels like you're either in some kind of James Bond movie or you're about to kill someone and either chop off their hands and send it to their mom and dad, or something bad's gonna go down. That's what I feel. English is the second language in Peru. It's easy, but I hate grammar. Yeah, grammar will definitely trip you up. And I think with pretty much any language, grammar is the hardest thing to get right. I know even in English, like speaking it all my life, when you try to actually speak and construct your sentences out loud, sometimes the grammar just doesn't come together. Yeah, it's really hard without immersion. Definitely correct. Alando Brewington, definitely right. Try Mandarin, Arabic, Thai, Vietnamese. Yeah, you have to practice every day. Not only do you have to practice, but you have to be like in that language all day, every day. I was watching this video talking about why American-born Chinese people have a hard time with learning Chinese and even like maintaining their own Chinese. I guess saying it's not really their native tongue, but it's like their heritage, and it's hard for any person born in America to keep their language skills of their, you know, native country. This is hard. Programming is pure grammar. Programming is pure grammar. Programming is pure grammar. I like that. I would agree with that. 95% agree with that statement. I guess the other important thing is the syntax, which, like, that's the equivalent to spelling, right? You'd have to be able to spell the programming terms correctly. But yeah, most of it is grammar and how you construct your lines of code. So Louis, you have 11 official languages in South Africa, and knowing most of them somehow made it easier for me to explore international languages. That's awesome. That's awesome. Knowing 11 languages. Just imagine needing to know 11 languages. That's pretty insane. Like the amount of people that you come in contact with that necessitates 11 languages to fully communicate between these 11 groups. That's rather insane. Does a talented programmer like myself, I do agree with that. I agree with that so far. Do I use Google and Stack Overflow? No. The answers all just come out of thin air. When I encounter a application or any feature that I need to build out, I just think it. I think the feature, and then it just flows out of my fingertips onto the editor. I never look at Stack Overflow or Google or Apple's documentation for that matter. None of that stuff is helpful for me. In fact, I think I wrote those. I wrote the documentation that Apple has on their website. Stack Overflow, that was something that I wrote in my sleep when I was 10 years old. So obviously I don't need any of that. Yolev. Is it Yoel or is it Yol? Will we be seeing you in the area? I'm traveling halfway around the world. Would be happy to have a beer with you and maybe even watch the game. Yeah, that'd be great. I live about an hour away from WWC, so I might go to AltConf. Which day? I don't know. A group video chat with followers maybe once a week on Instagram maybe. I'm not on Instagram enough to really do Instagram chat. But I would like to somehow provide a group session for all of the students of these courses, because I know there's like a ton of you. So I would like to somehow provide help in that regard. Not sure how to do it yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. Swifter for Copy. Is that the one with Sean Allen and the British guy? What was his name? Paul Hudson. Yeah. No, I have not heard of them. Who are they? So I haven't. I'm not a really big podcast listener. I have like a couple of comedy podcasts that I listen to. So other than that, I don't spend my time listening. Like if I'm not on my computer, I don't want to think about programming. It might seem like I really enjoy programming, but it's just another. Yeah, it's just another thing to do. It is what it is. Don't you guys hate that phrase? It is what it is. It's so goddamn annoying when I hear people say that phrase. You know what the worst part is when I watch these NBA basketball players get interviewed on TV. I'm not gonna say anybody's name, but LeBron James, he has the most repetitive phrases in his speech ever. It's so annoying. Why can't someone give like LeBron James just embed his brain with 1,000 different words, just increase his vocabulary so that when he gives these freaking post-game interviews, he has more things to say than what's his favorite one? No, I can't remember. I can't think of it on top of my head. It's like things of that nature. He loves saying things of that nature. It is what it is. I left it all in the court. God, basketball players. No, not hating on basketball players, but it is what it is. championships of the Liverpool versus Tottenham. No, we don't really get football here. Good comedy podcast. There's a ton. I watched this show by these internet comedians. They're called, not there, but it's these two guys called Jake and Amir, and I listen to them. I used to watch their videos. They were like the grandfathers of YouTube comedy. All right, let's pick a programming question here, because now we're just talking about soccer and NBA basketball, which is not what we're here for. Oh my god, this is giving me the hiccups. Oh no, I'm out of beer. Oh. Jake and Amir are hilarious. I used to watch them on YouTube. Yeah. They have a podcast now. It's called If I Were You. I recommend checking it out. What happened with the beers? Man, this one went down fast. Jesus Christ. I should have brought another can down here if I knew this one was going to go down this quickly. What if I threw up on stream? Have you guys had so much beer that you ended up just passing out at a bar? I'm not going to say I did it, but it was not a pretty day. I actually didn't pass out at the bar. Okay, maybe I did pass out at the bar, but before I passed out, I think I threw up on the floor. The bar, I guess you would call it the dance floor. Like, we had so much beer in half an hour, and my system just couldn't take it. And so what happened was we were playing these drinking games, and I guess suffice it to say, I kept losing at the drinking games, and then I just out of nowhere it just all came up again, and then I threw it all up on the floor, and then immediately what happened was, like, the owner of the bar just said, "Get out, you're done, get out." Because, oh my god, the dance floor was so gross. I don't remember what it looked like. I was so beyond wasted. So yeah, that's my story. A lot of things happened that night that I wish I didn't remember, but I do recall some of those unfortunate things that did occur on that strange night. Strange night in San Francisco. You can only imagine what goes down, or maybe up, in San Francisco. How quickly can you become a freelance developer? I should make a rule on questions for this channel. Don't ask generic ass questions. Is there somewhere like an FAQ on questions? You know how GitHub makes you do this thing where you have to fill out these checkboxes? There's like 5 things you have to fill out, and you got to checkbox all of it before you can even submit your questions. The first one mine would be like, don't ask basic ass questions. I would do that. All kidding aside, how long does it become a freelance developer? I don't know, man. I don't know. How am I supposed to know? Jesus. Basic bitches. Basic ass bitches. Like, how long is a piece of string? Yeah, it's like these questions are just so generic. Jesus Christ. I know I'm yelling at the audience now. I think I'm being heckled here. I don't like being heckled. Exactly 3.14 years. That is correct. Yeah, so Christopher Sanders says learning the programming with code helps me a ton too. Yeah, I think I tell you guys this every stream. The main reason why I teach everyone the programmatic ways is I want you guys to get very familiar with reading code and understanding how to visually look at code so that you can make sense of it line by line. And that's so helpful. It's such a skill that you need going from college to your first job, reviewing code from your other teammates in a company that you work for at a big software place, looking at Stack Overflow, understanding how to read the code and how to make sense of all of it. Like, this is such a I wouldn't say transferable. It's a skill that you must have. So that's why I do it. I want everyone to get good at reading it. And when you have some guy typing out line by line what the code does, it's like very easy to understand what he's trying to do. And that's all I'm trying to do, man. I just want people to get good at it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I just like people to get a feel for what the code does. And as you can see, I make mistakes while I'm typing, and there's like errors and warnings and all this shit that comes up on the IDE. And yeah, you see a guy going through that, you feel like, oh yeah, the pros do that, I do that too. It's what happens when I watch other people do their tutorial videos. I see them making their mistakes, and I'm like, oh yeah, I make the same mistakes. It's very relatable. It's a relatable experience. Apple TV service. I'm interested in like their arcade game. What do they call it? Whatever the arcade service is called, where they release games that don't have in-app purchases. Because let's be real, we all fucking hate the in-app purchases, right? Like, I just want to play a tower defense game where I have access to all these goddamn towers that I want to build on my freaking map. I don't want to pay $6 for the game and then have these towers, the best looking towers, are locked down because I don't want to pay an extra $2.99 for the special towers in my tower defense game. Like, I hate that so much. Oh my god. So much. You guys don't know. I know you guys know. You guys know what I'm talking about. In-app purchases. That itself has generated probably so much money for so many people, but it's such a pain in the ass. You guys know. Gotta make some money somehow, though. Philip, there's got to be a better way, man. Instead of forcing us or coercing the players, your user base, to pony up the $2.99 for the special gun or the special outfit. What do you call outfits in games now? I'm so old. Yeah, like PUBG, right? You can buy the gun, you can buy the nice armor, the nice suit. You gotta pay money for it. Because somebody's gotta finance their freaking game. Yeah, they're called skins. That goes to show how much I play games. I don't even know what the skins are called. Okay, here's a good question by Brett Doffing. I'm actually reading all the questions. I just don't want to answer the basic ass ones. Let's face it, I've done a lot of these live streams. You get tired of these freaking questions, to be honest. Okay, so interesting question by Brett Doffing. How important is being able to reduce algorithmic complexity for a self-taught dev trying to get their first job? Now, I guess algorithmic complexity. I guess, what's the right thing to say here? When you're working at a software company, if it's a startup, the program's going to look like shit. Like the code is going to look horrible. And what can you do about it? Well, I wouldn't say that algorithmic complexity. I've always had a hard time saying that word. Algorithmic complexity. That's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is you have like functions that have 100 lines of code, and you looking at that code and trying to figure out what it does, like line by line, these 100 lines, and there's a loop here, and then there's like some variables down here at the last line, and some other stuff that doesn't belong here. That's the biggest problem. Don't worry about complexity. So, and to be honest, when you're working at a startup, you're not going to deal with algorithms. Like if you're an iOS developer, the hardest thing that you'll ever do, as an iOS developer is like interacting with, putting things in a dictionary maybe, or a hash map of some kind. I can't even think of anything that's hard on iOS, like relative to other languages. iOS is such a walk in the park. And yeah, no one writes tests. Philip, no one writes tests. Don't quote me on that, but interview questions. That'll get you. If you write a really terrible algorithm to solve the interview problem, that'll get you some points subtracted. Complexity is not a hallmark of good design. Whenever I'm writing these lessons, I'm always trying to reduce the complexity in like many different facets of the application that I'm working on for the video. So I'm already assuming that you guys know a lot of what I am trying to build out. So I'm already assuming that you guys understand the problem set. And then the way that I build out my solutions, I make it super simple that you don't have to understand that much to really see what's going on. So when I'm doing things, I'm already reducing the complexity as much as I can. That way, when I'm doing these videos, I know you can follow along. I know it doesn't work for everyone, but I try my best. I am Mohammed. No, I can't help you, Mohammed. Unit testing your code, important. I don't know. That's a very subjective question there. I wouldn't say unit testing is... unit testing itself is a great thing to have. It just requires too many different resources and smart people to do it correctly. Yeah. And also, unit test code will get old. It gets very obsolete very quickly. Like the moment you introduce new code, you have to update your unit tests. And that can be a good thing and a bad thing. But if it requires too much work, then the amount of features that you can release in a given time will definitely be limited by how fast you can iterate on your test code. It's a give and take. You get higher quality code, but definitely slows down the process. I'm out of beer. What did I do? Muhammad. This is not Stack Overflow. Yes, unit testing does give you a a second look at your code. Agreed. That's another great aspect of writing out test code. That's not technically the unit testing giving you that. Like, you can look at your code the second time without providing the tests, but it's also helpful to know what your code is doing. Unit tests are also somewhat helpful for other people that are trying to modify your code, but like, there's just so much work. You have to understand the code, and then you have to understand the unit testing code. If you modify the code, someone else's library, someone else's code, you have to modify the unit testing to make sure that the code will still pass. Man, trying to do that and have your features being released on time, it's difficult. It's get a dark Irish beer for all of us. I'm thinking about stopping by the local market that only sells alcoholic beverages. It's like this large market. I can't remember what they're called, but I've never been inside. I drive by every time I get my groceries, and I'm thinking about stopping by and just grabbing maybe a bottle of wine. I actually don't like wine that much, but maybe I'll grab something. Yeah. Eudaimonian, are you willing to give student discounts for your courses? I don't really have a system or any mechanism that does discounts right now. I thought about implementing one. I just haven't really gotten around to doing it. But maybe someday. Here's one thing I'll say about the courses. If you can afford college, even like the cheapest community college, obviously I'm speaking for Americans. If you can afford college, skip college and just pay for the courses. They're so much better. They're worth so much more. Yeah. I think I had a student that just got, not just got, but he got hired at a different company after watching the courses and building out some projects. Got a job offer, makes 6-figure salary now, and yeah. I take it you don't believe in formal education. Formal education is so, what's the word? Trash? Dumpster fire? Clusterfuck? It's a waste of time. Yeah. That's a bitch slap of truth. Courses over college. Like, not even talking about my own courses, but you can learn machine learning. The machine learning tutorials and videos on Google, Stanford, and what's on Udemy, the Python stuff. Like, all of that is available for close to, I don't want to say close to nothing, but relative to college, you're paying pennies for these courses, right? Like $20 here, $50 here, $100 here. And you learn online with the resources available. You learn at your own pace. And I think it's so much better. Philip Carlino. Yeah, man, I got a job with your help. Nice. Congrats, Philip. Really happy to help you out. Jade Thomason. This bitch slap of truth. Yeah. Show me how to use constraints. I'm 14 years old. How does being 14 years old have any like relevancy with this question. If you watch the entire channel and you don't know how to use constraints, then I can't help you. Can't help you, brother. Philip doing a lot of testing at my job. Ooh. Is that fun? Is testing fun? Do you find it enjoyable? I know people that really like testing. I personally, I like seeing my code working on one of these nice little screens. I kind of prefer that over testing, but you know, we can't all be application developers. I just discovered you on YouTube, and here you are live. I saw your JSON parsing 2017. Jesus Christ, it's been a while. Will I ever make that Node.js course you were talking about? Any backend stuff in the pipeline? Okay, so here is what I've been working on. I guess I'll demo it for you guys. Let's see what I can do here. Okay, let's make sure my desktop is clear of clutter. Let's actually hope this works too. Okay, we're gonna do it. Okay, so I've been building out a like what would you call this? A Facebook clone, a Twitter clone. I guess they're all the same, right? You have some users and you follow each other and you create posts. That's the basic idea. Have I been drinking today? Yes, indeed I have. But this entire website is built off of ignore the pictures, ignore the scantily clad females on this website for now. And essentially, this whole website was built using Sales MVC, a Node.js framework. It's really easy to get things up and running and to get user auth, set up your model objects, persist some data onto the database, fetch them in your web pages, and all of that is also like you do that work for the website, and that comes fully supported for your mobile apps as well. You just have to use the REST API to get it to work. So, you know, I've been putting together this entire page, and let's see, click into that. Let me see, no comments. Okay, that one doesn't have any comments, but I think this burger one does. So, how many comments? I guess the comments got deleted. See, comments get deleted. That's unfortunate. Okay, so here's a comment. Hope you show up. All right, so submit. And comment goes up here. All right. What's up from the live stream, guys? And you know, this will get submitted and you'll see that right there. Don't have the time being posted here yet, but basically that's how it works. You can go to users and follow people here. You have some users, and you know, not everything's working, but you can follow and follow. So here's home. You have your users that you're following. I guess I'm just calling that friends. Maybe you call that following. Let's see. Let's erase Jon Snow by going to here, unfollow Jon Snow. Jon Snow got really old and bald, apparently. So, you know, go back and you see Jon Snow is no longer there. And, you know, that's how that works. If Tony Stark here posted am I Tony Stark? Who am I? I'm Thanos. If Tony Stark posted a post, let's log out here. Okay. Now, Iron Man. Okay. Now we're in Thanos. And this is because I'm following Thanos as my friend. So, hey everyone, new post. Let's choose a file here. Let's make sure nothing's too embarrassing. Let's go with this girl here. Okay, let's post this. Is it gonna crash? Is it gonna crash? It's gonna crash. Sometimes I'm surprised that this even works. But it does. It does. And we have Tony Stark's post here. Yeah, you can refresh. See this still there. And now I think I'm following this user as this Thanos user. I've been watching a lot of Marvel superheroes. And so now I'm Thanos and I'm following Tony Stark here. And we see the Tony Stark post. I don't have to explain this any further, right? You guys know how Facebook works. But yeah, that's the idea. And surprisingly, it's very easy to build out that type of application. But yeah, maybe I'll do a better demo. You know, whenever I make the course, I'll do a demo video to demonstrate how the features work, obviously. So Hassan, you work for Testlio, tested NBA, Lyft, iOS apps, etc. It is fun, and they pay well. That's good. Yeah, testing is hard, so they do pay good testers very well. So the name of that framework, Scott Finkelstein, is called Sales MVC. So sales as in the boat sales is a sales MVC for Node.js. There's a lot of frameworks that you can choose. I chose sales because I couldn't get the other ones to work. So the first one that worked, I basically gave that the most investment. The major benefits of using sales is it comes with an ORM and like an object mapper, where it makes your life just beyond easy. You know, save, persist, fetch objects, delete stuff, and yeah, it's very similar to Rails. I kind of like that. There are some negatives to it, but you know, for the most part, it works. Yon says, how do you organize your project efficiently? I don't know, you just type out the code and whatever works, you put it in a file and then you close it off, save it somewhere, and don't look at it again, and it's hidden. It's efficient. Do companies often look for people who know how to program without a storyboard? Yeah, plenty. There's plenty of people that there's plenty of like really smart CTOs that work at companies, and CTOs come from a long career of just developing software, and they really understand how code is written, right? So they have a lot of experience. So the smart TOs that start these startup companies, they really appreciate people that know how to do things, just hard code through code. And there's plenty of people that are looking for that. If you're working on like small random projects, high chance that it was built by someone else that doesn't know how to code. So they built it out using a storyboard. So that's what you'll have to work on. But there's plenty of options out there. You know, don't feel like your options are limited. And yeah, it's great. It's a great place to be. Do I prefer Flutter or Xcode? I prefer to Visual Studio Code. Maybe I just prefer JavaScript over Swift now. Whenever I go back and start typing out Swift code, I feel like, oh my God, it's so slow. It feels like what I felt when I went from Java to Swift. And now when I'm going to JavaScript to Swift, it's like I have to, either the Xcode editor is slow or the language itself is just really hard to type. It's the autocomplete. Xcode autocomplete is completely trash. And I don't like it. I like to complain about editors. I find that Xcode editor probably one of the worst. Probably one of the worst editors out there. You know, why do I create a file, and when that file editor pops up and down, why does it do this animation thing? Like, I don't need that. How does that help me? That takes like 2 seconds of my life that I can't get back. But alas, we have to use Xcode to make our apps. Abdel Rahman Elanazi. I suck on developing apps with Storyboard while I built amazing products with code only. Easy to maintain, easy to build, and robust. Yep. I find writing the code let you make creative UI apps. Yeah. The real reason why I wouldn't say the real reason, but one of the leading causes that led me to doing things through code is that we had a designer at this company, and he came up with some like not too crazy designs, but they were definitely like really hard to implement. And you know, auto sizing this and make sure that when you drag it, these views do something else while you're dragging. And you just can't do that. And you can't do that with the storyboard. You know, imagine you have a scroll view, the text loads, you have text that is like minimized or a short version of the text, and then when you drag, the long version of the text comes out. You know, it's not crazy, but it's not easy to do in, you know, drag and drop editors. So I started building out the entire design with just code. And well, I guess first off, I built it out using a storyboard, and then there were like half of the things that were inside of the design or in the view. Half of the elements were built using code. And so when I had to fix the bugs in this view, I kept jumping back and forth between the storyboard and the actual code that generated these views. And after a certain point, I couldn't figure out what was being generated in the code and what was being generated in the storyboard. And after a while, I just moved everything from the storyboard view to code so that I can keep track of it a lot easier, and for me to make sense of like, oh, what's really underneath what. Like, that's the worst thing on the storyboard. You don't have the Z index that you can control. And as I, migrated all the view from the storyboard to the code, and then I just took out the entire storyboard controller and just moved out the code as well. And then I realized, I can just delete the storyboard now. I don't need it. And that's kind of what led me down this path. Hopefully you guys find that interesting. Maybe not. That was kind of a revelation point where I started stripping everything out of the storyboard. Every storyboard file that I had, I just stripped everything out, and I realized that I reduced a lot of different areas of the code that was like super complex, and just reduced it to one reusable component. And then I just deleted all the storyboards. They all just disappeared. Okay. So Hassan says, let's say you're the CTO of Apple. What would you like to change or add as a feature for iOS developers? I think hot reload. Hot reload of code that you modify. Make that change like instant. Instead of having to rerun the entire code. Like, do it for both storyboards and code. If I change a toggle in the storyboard, then the simulator or maybe my phone, that view should change automatically. It's hard to do, but after working in JavaScript for so long, it's nice to have auto hot reload refreshes. I think Flutter has had it forever now. That was the main things of Flutter in the very beginning. I mean, I used it when I made those videos. Super convenient. if you don't have it, you just want to kill yourself. Especially if you're on a really shitty machine. If you're on a crappy ass MacBook Air 2011, you should just quit. Just quit. Stop making apps. That's an 8-year-old machine. Yeah. Cole Roberts says, when you're working on a larger team, storyboards are increasingly less useful. To context switch between interface builder, storyboard, and programmatic layout slows down development. Yep. Fully agree. I don't like switching from like looking at code and then switching over to the interface builder. It takes like 5 seconds to load up all the visual elements in the interface builder tool, and then you have to click like 5 times just to click in a view, click into the nested labels. Make sure you click in the actual element. Don't click on the stack view. Oh, but you do want to click on the stack view. Make sure you don't click on the element. And then you can click on the right side, make sure you're in the right tab, modify like the attributes. And if you're lucky, you clicked on the right things and it works out. So I don't like doing that. Most of what I show in the video is just me not liking to do other things. And it's my personal workflow. If you guys like doing your own thing, feel free to do your own thing. This chair makes my back hurt, unfortunately. Disable auto refresh. I don't know. Storyboard was just when I was developing my very first iPhone app, before storyboards were even a thing, we all built through code. Very fun way to put together apps, and that's the only way I knew of building out apps. Working on Flash apps, Android apps, Java apps. Everything was just through code. Do you guys understand how weird it is to have a storyboard tool? No other platform has this weird tool. Like Android has that weird auto layout editor thing, which is actually better than storyboard. But the entire web platform is just ran through HTML and CSS and JavaScript. There are no visual editors. I think I've said that quite a few times too. All right. Last question before I try to do something else. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet, but try to get off the computer, maybe step outside, get some fresh air. IB designable. That's kind of cool. IB designable is like kind of a fun, cool tool. I don't know if it's worth the effort that you put into the So Abdel says, I think storyboards are good for kids to play with when they are at school, or kids 10 to 13 years old. Fun thing to do to get them into coding. Yeah, I agree. Somebody's got to teach the young kids, or some easy way of getting them into programming. Thanks, Revai. Hi, Cho. If I can give you if I can get all of you guys to get into like some kind of big bar, I'd buy a round of beer for everyone that's still here. Next round's on me. All right. So with that being said, we are going to leave today's live stream chat, and we'll try to do something else. 去买酒. Yeah. Thanks, guys. See you later.